So Regal just did their first ever IMAX 3D Monday mystery movie. And I knew it would be Mercy before Chris Pratt came on screen and was like, "Hey guys, I'm Chris Pratt, thanks for coming to Mercy," which, by the way, we already knew it was Mercy. This movie's releasing Friday. It's the only thing coming out, and it's in IMAX 3D, not exactly a mystery. When the trailer for this dropped, I thought this looked ridiculous. And I will admit, the first 20 minutes of me had me thinking, okay, this could be a solid, well-crafted, dumb movie that commits to being dumb. I was wrong. Here's the setup. It's 2032, the global economy has collapsed, crime has skyrocketed, and the death penalty is illegal. So they create Mercy, an AI court system that puts you in a room, ties you to a chair, and gives you 90 minutes to prove your innocence. If you can't lower the AI's probability of your guilt to 92% or below, you get executed by electric shock. This is a very fantastic premise, by the way. It's a really strong script idea. I haven't read the script, but the execution is where the failure is, so let's keep going. Chris Pratt plays Christopher Raven, a detective who helped create the Mercy system. He's basically the poster child for it. We even see footage of him arresting the first guy who went through Mercy. Now, Raven wakes up in that chair, accused of murdering his wife. He has 90 minutes to solve her murder from inside the room. Again, this is a cool concept. It's like Minority Report on a budget. A detective noir mixed with high-tech AI surveillance. You've got Rebecca Ferguson as Judge Maddox, the AI in a sexy femme fatale robot body. You've got Chris Pratt as the washed-up alcoholic detective or cop. It's got all the noir elements. But then there's some fundamental problems, and here's where it all falls apart. Problem number one, the logic makes no sense. Everyone is now guilty before trial. You're thrown into this mercy room and given 90 minutes to prove your innocence. So we're just throwing away the entire legal principle of an innocent until proven guilty and settling for an arbitrary deadline of 90 minutes before we kill someone. Okay. The movie does say something very early on, like Rebecca Ferguson's like, "You're not innocent until you're proven guilty." It's some blah, 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 like bullshit. It just doesn't make this make sense. And everyone has to defend themselves. Your survival doesn't depend on evidence, even though we get to see evidence. It depends on how well you can present your case. How many innocent people go to prison every day because they can't afford a good lawyer? And you want everyday people to defend themselves in a capital punishment case within 90 minutes? Come on. Problem number two is, why can't the AI do this? The more we get into the movie, the more Chris Pratt has to do the actual detective work, gathering evidence, calling his partner Jacqueline for info, piecing together clues. And I kept thinking, why can't the AI do this? If the Mercy system is supposed to be this all-knowing judge, jury, and executioner, why does Chris Pratt have to manually solve his wife's murder? There is so much plot armor. We discover information that the AI apparently just missed. It doesn't really make sense. So here's what happens in the movie. Chris wakes up in the Mercy room. The case against him looks solid. He's a recovering alcoholic. His marriage was falling apart. Surveillance shows him entering and leaving his house around the time of his wife's murder. No one else goes in or out. He's later arrested drunk at a bar. With the help of his partner, Jacqueline, over video calls, Chris discovers his wife had a secret work phone and was potentially having an affair. That lead goes nowhere. Then they find out she worked at a chemical processing plant where chemicals were being stolen. Maybe for drugs, maybe for a bomb. Eventually, we discover that Robert Nelson, Chris's AA sponsor, is actually the brother of David Webb, the first person convicted by Mercy. Turns out David Webb was innocent, but Jacqueline covered it up to make Mercy look good. She needed a slam dunk case to prove the system worked. So Robert Nelson spent 2 years planning revenge. He killed Chris's wife and framed him to make Chris go through exactly what his brother went through. Oh, and he's also building a bomb to blow up the Mercy courthouse. This all sounds interesting on paper, right? But here's the thing, the stakes never feel real. Because it's a screen life movie, Chris is communicating with people over phones and video feeds the whole time. That eliminates tension. We saw the same problem with Flight Risk last year, where you're dealing with people over the phone instead of face-to-face. It removes immediacy. And the whole conspiracy, Jacqueline framing David Webb, which leads to Robert Nelson killing Chris's wife, which leads to Chris being framed. It's so convoluted. It's chain after chain of stretches and reaches that don't really add up. Plus, the screen life gimmick limits everything. Chris is strapped to a chair for 90 minutes. There's no action, no real set pieces. Everything is viewed from a distance. Body cam, security footage, bird's eye views. It's all third person, which again takes away the immediacy. And then we have to throw in, Chris Raven having a daughter, or the daughter being in danger. Like, Robert Nelson just kidnaps the daughter at the end to add stakes, and it feels so artificial. I think even general audiences will not be invested. Like, the girl next to me was just checking her phone right when his daughter got kidnapped. I'm like, no one cares, because this information's being manipulated and given to you so late in the movie. And here is what kills this thing. You know, the concept of an AI court system is fascinating, man. That's genuinely interesting sci-fi territory. Minority Report did precognition and stopping crimes before they happen. This is different. I see a lot of people saying, you know, this is ripping that off. But this could be a different concept. It's about an AI replacing the entire judicial process. But the movie does not commit to exploring that. Instead, it gets trapped in its own gimmicks, the 90-minute timer, the screen life format, the detective noir trappings, and none of it gets developed properly. I wanted this to be a deep-fried detective noir, futuristic tech mixed with classic noir storytelling. Rebecca Ferguson is great as the sexy villainous AI judge. Chris Pratt is playing the washed-up alcoholic cop perfectly. The ingredients are there, but it needed to go deeper into character. Movies like Searching and Missing, both by the same director, by the way, succeed because they build real suspense and invest you in the mystery. Mercy is supposed to be this bigger, movie. It's getting an IMAX 3D release. Both of those movies did not get those releases, but it's worse because it stays surface level the entire time. I think this is a fascinating experiment that leaves a lot of stuff on the table. It is a very strong concept, but weak execution. And that's exactly why it's getting a January 23rd release, getting dumped into theaters. This is not an IMAX 3D movie. This is a stupid direct-to-streaming movie pretending to be a big film. It's short, it goes by quickly, but at the end of the day, it could have been so much better. I did want to give this the benefit of the doubt, but we knew since this was being promoted, and they were saying from the producers of Oppenheimer and The Dark Knight in the trailer, and then you have a movie that looks like this. They should have just said from the producer of War of the Worlds starring Ice Cube. That would explain what this movie really is. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Let me know what movie to review next.